Jumbo. You guys ready? All right, here comes the poll. Cool. While you're doing that, welcome to Forex.Today, the YouTube community of 19,000 foreign exchange traders. We're here today to conduct technical and fundamental analysis with the overriding goal of putting together trade plans for this beautiful Tuesday, the 12th of October, 2021. Let's go! Let me remind you that trading is risky. It's not appropriate for everyone. No, no, no. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Therefore, it's wise to always stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Hello, my name is Wayne. I'm here to answer your questions. Yeah. Been around, I've done a few things, and then I became a Forex trader. So I can bring a little bit from the business world, from the nonprofit world, all that kind of stuff. And then we can talk about Forex. Technical analysis, I love it. Fundamental analysis of global macroeconomic money flow due to business activity, economic activity, or monetary policy, aka central banks, is what we do. Combine them together, you have a strategy, and then tactics to enter and exit your trades. Cool, right on. So anyways, ask questions, get involved, take notes, and I will do my best to serve. I am your servant. I am your humble servant. So my goal is to help you to become a better trader, whether that's through better techniques or maybe stronger psychology or whatnot. And maybe, just maybe, this is fun and entertaining, but that is not my goal. So like I said, ask questions, take notes, and then once the webinar is over, once the live stream is over, go into the recording of today's video and document your notes. Why would you do this? Well, because you can customize your learning experience here at Forex.Today. You can always search your comments on YouTube and pull up very specific videos. So if today I cover a relative strength exercise technique that you like, and you're like, wow, that's really smart. Well, 3 years from now, when you say to yourself, when did he do that relative strength exercise video? Remember, I do a video every day. I've done more than 5,000 videos on YouTube. I've been doing YouTube videos longer than your last guru's been trading Forex. So how are you going to find that one video that covers that one subject the way that you liked? Well, you search your comments and pull up that exact video. There you go. So that's my recommendation to you. I have another one. Please visit tradersway.com and open up a demo account. Pretty simple. You download MT4 or MT5, play some trades, and you're like, hey man, this is pretty good. Execution speed's fast. Fees are more than competitive. If you prefer to let's say, if you prefer an ECN account over a regular account, then you can have that ECN account, a fixed spread account, a variable spread. That's what I like. So all that's really good, right? Fast execution speed, competitive fees. They pay you full swaps, which is huge. It's amazing. But ultimately what you need when you go live with real money with a broker is you need trust. So if you start now, you can test those things out, but ultimately you're giving Traders Way an opportunity to earn your loyalty and your respect. And I like that business model. Because the business model is based on if you succeed, they succeed. It's a symbiotic relationship. So they want to serve, give them a shot. Tradersway.com. And here he is. What do we got? Well, let's start over here. We got pound strength. Euro tried for a while, has given back a little bit. CAD is still strong. Aussie's still strong. So 2 weeks ago, we wanted CAD to go up and Aussie to go up. So that's been epically good. Now pound has kicked in, which great. That was great because pound, before a little retracement or a big retracement, was strong previous. So now we got, sort of the three horsemen. Kiwi starting to follow its cousin Aussie. That's all good in the hood. Okay. Bond yields are down slightly today because remember the bond market was closed yesterday. And, that might have created some dollar strength. But what we want to go with is more dollar weakness. And yen is so fabulous. So it's been a good month. It's been great. Cool. So let's see if it'll continue. Let's take a look at your poll results. Data says, Wayne, how long is a fundamental trend in the Forex market? As long as the monetary policy exists or continues. And that, my friend, is typically years. I laughed at somebody 2 weeks ago when the dollar and yen were strong, and he's like, oh my God, are you going to change your fundamental analysis? Are you going to change your fundamental bias? Because it was strong for like a whole day. And I laughed. I'm like, if you change your fundamental bias that quickly, you don't have a fundamental bias. So I stayed with my bias and did epically well. Thank you very much. Cool. So looks like Great British Pound. All right. Beast is the choice. So let's start with Beast today. I'm going to go beastie on you. Wow. There is a lot going on. Maybe it's time to clean up, right? Let's do a cleanup. Let's start with monthly. Okay. And you'll see, and last night was pretty funny on a couple of different trades, and I'll show you what I meant. Clear this up. So you can see I have a buy order here. So I bought pound yen last night at that price. Cool. And you see this buy limit. Look at my buy limit. Look, if you look closely, it actually touched the line, but I needed it to go 1 pip lower to cover the spread. And it double bottomed on my line, but did not put me in. Now, Theta says, oh, so it's connected more to the monetary policy than the business cycle itself. Well, they're related. Monetary policy is because of the business cycle. So anyways, look at that. Look at that. It actually touched it, but didn't put it in. But anyways, I'm making money, so it doesn't matter. You might say the stop loss, you're like, oh, wow, why was your stop loss so close to your limit order? Well, obviously, you can't have a stop loss on a limit order. So that stop loss is connected to this trade. And this take profit is not to this trade, but to this trade. Okay? Which is 333 pips profit. And I'm getting pretty close to that. Hey, that's not a bad trade. Okay? So anyways, I can remove risk here. Okay? And we'll see. I don't know. Is this going to go to 155? I don't know. Okay. And then the next trade is way up there and whatever. Now, this was an interesting discussion because you can see my standard operating procedure when you hit that is to get out. Okay. So on my other account, I actually did exit. And my goal is obviously to re-enter because the standard operating procedure is this. However, seasonality says this one might be different. And so the issue is to take all the hard money you made and now kind of tiptoe in, and it's a different trade. So in my live trading group last night, I talked a lot about October is over. October's over. Already made every single pip I would expect out of October. Doesn't mean it won't go up. What I mean is October is dead. Okay? The pattern that exists, here's the first day of October, that says this. And it worked perfect. Nailed it. 3 points, nothing but net. Okay? So this is different. And you have to treat it differently. And so that was a big part of our discussion last night in the live trading group, the psychology of that, and then more interestingly, how to get into that trade. So let's go now to weekly. And you can see as we were hitting the monthly target, which was here, okay, remember this was a buy monthly. This was the target for the monthly. Okay, this is an OOP. Okay, and what that says is you hit your weekly target early and you should expect a counter trend trade. That is probably 9.5 times out of 10. That's what you would expect. In this case, we have a sprinkling of seasonality that suggests this can continue higher. Not that it will, but it can. And so once again, the discussion is, how do you conservatively take profit but aggressively get back in? And that's what these trades were. And, you know, I would argue that both of these were good trades. Unfortunately, that one just didn't get clipped in. Cool. How many people were in that day trading group meeting last night? Either the 3 p.m. meeting or the 8 p.m. meeting? Yeah, it's sort of it was a tricky meeting because it's the discussion of when do you override the rules of engagement, sort of, right? I mean, it's not really override, but when does seasonality supersede technical analysis? When do fundamentals supersede technical analysis? Because usually what happens is you start with a bias and then you confirm and deny everything with text. And the text said, beautiful, beautiful trade, it's done. And we're like, okay, I get that, but I'm going to override those general rules, or at least be extremely crazy cautious while maintaining aggression. Okay? Okay? Okay, remember you can join my live group to basically the end of the year, and it's only $200, not per month, flat. To meet with me a couple of times a day plus our 8 a.m. So if you think about it, when you include the Forex.Today live stream and the day trading group, right, we're meeting 3 times a day for $200 flat. Flat, not monthly, dude. Flat. So I don't know what's holding you back. Can't be money. All right. Okay. Wayne, do you mentor from scratch for a complete beginner? Yeah, but the fee is about $10,000. So, I mean, I don't know. So most people don't have the money. I generally don't have the time, but that would be the starting point of the discussion. Okay. So anyway, so there's the beast. The other one I chuckled about, I guess it was all Aussie dollar, not Aussie yen. But anyways, let's go in here. Yeah, made us like we're almost connected all day. Yeah, pretty much, right? Pretty much. All right, so I guess I don't need to break this one apart. Okay, let's just go into a smaller time frame. And here's the Asia fade. Okay, another discussion was measuring the effectiveness for you, your personal development of a style. Okay, and the use of the 21 and the daily. And sometimes the daily works perfect, and sometimes the 21 works perfect, and sort of the discussion of how to use both and when do you lean on one more than the other, which is very interesting, right? Thomas, we'll get there when we do dollar. Okay. Anyways, going back to Azariah, look, if you guys want, I'm not telling you I'm available, but you can reach out to me. Okay, you can reach out to me for mentorship, but just remember, it's not going to be $50 for my time. I don't even have time. But okay, just so you know. So we're riding the 21 here, and this makes it very interesting for the rest of the day. Like CAD, we have breached the R2, which is great. So I hope it continues. One interesting thing about the hope of continuation is I told you guys back in February, March, April, May. Okay. I told you back earlier in the year that in October we would be breaching the R2. Even though that's typically our aggressive target, that this particular month we would go to R3, maybe beyond. So if we're doing that, then dang it, I got lucky. What a lucky call. Now, the point here is, if you can talk about October in an intelligent fashion in February, then either I have a time machine or there's a logical pattern going on. Which one you believe is up to you. Okay? So back in February, okay, the US dollar was strong and like euro dollar, for example, was falling. And I was talking about buying, so like buying Aussie yen, right, for example, buying in October, and it would go higher than R2. Isn't that crazy? So maybe I have a time machine. I'm not saying I don't. I might have a time machine. But there may also be a business logic for what's happening. Wouldn't you like to know the business logic? Okay. Cool. So anyways, pretty lucky there. The other thing I said back in February, March, April, May, June, is that the third week of August, this would rally. And the third week of September, this would rally. In October, I'm buying everything with a yen on it, and we would breach R2. That's pretty specific. Can anybody here confirm that for the newer folks? That there's a pattern I can talk about. That's specifically this week will rally, that week will rally, and this one will breach extreme targets. Can anybody confirm that? Because you're also confirming it to yourself. Hope says I spend a lot more attention on timing and seasonality than most mentors. They don't understand it or know it. So it's not their fault. They just don't know it. Cool. But that's the difference, because like here I don't think, so even though I have this down, it's not like I've cornered the market on some sort of knowledge. That's what a professional does. So if the other guru you've paid attention to is not thinking that way, then they're not really truly a professional trader. They're a proficient technical analyst with a following. But if you're going to, for example, sit down with an institutional investor and discuss their investment, for example, the whole entire conversation is about the things like seasonality or monetary policy, right? Which is part of the B cycle, and the business cycles about inflation cycles, and all of this, the impact on global money flow, right? That's how the conversation actually goes. And they'll ask you about, what do you think about yields right now in the inflation rate, and in particular, the real yield in the US versus like the UK or the EU, and how would this impact your investment strategy over the next 6 to 18 months? And you say, well, I'm looking at what the UK is doing right now and what the EU is doing now in their central banks, and how that's influencing not just their currencies, but the impact of what they're doing and the reason of what they're doing, how that impacts the flow to China, and then China impacts the flow to places like Australia, except now there's a trade war, so now you got to pick a different currency for that flow. You see, like the level of conversation is much different than, and sort of it sounds derogatory. I don't mean it to be derogatory, but an empty day trade, because you're like, okay, this is what we're going to do today. I'm going to try to pick up 50 pips, and then you're out, and then there's nothing. Okay. So, but that's what most gurus would be teaching, because that's what they're doing, right? But that wouldn't attract a professional investor. So I'm trying to teach you the day trading techniques, the scalping techniques, the news trading techniques, the swing trading techniques, the position trading techniques, the carry trading techniques inside of the fundamentals of global macroeconomics. I'm trying to give you the full picture, because you may decide to be a day trader. And like I said, that's perfectly fine. But my personal goal is to inform you on why these things are happening. Okay. So another guru on YouTube might not know today that the 10-year T-note yield is 1.59, and yesterday it was 1.61, and I'm looking at that impacting the US dollar, and they're like, whoa, what? And I'm watching it to a pretty close degree. Okay? So the why to me is the number one most important thing. Because if you don't know why you're trading, right, then you don't know what you're going to be doing in March of 2022. I know exactly what I'll be doing the third week of March 2022. I know exactly what I'm going to be doing and why I would do it. Okay? The same way I knew exactly what and why I'd be doing October the way, right? And now it's skyrocketing and these yens are up, 300-400 pips in a week and a half. But yeah, I know. I talked about that 6 months ago. So anyway, so it's not all I'm saying. It's not me. It's not my time machine. It's not my genius. It's a different level of trading. And I'm trying to give you exposure to that so that you can become a competent trader. I don't know if you'll be a great trader. I don't know if you're going to be, flying in a jet and having yellow Lamborghinis and pretty people, want to hang with you. I don't know if that's the reality, but at least you'll develop a level of competency. Okay. Okay. Della wants to know if there's a difference when I talk about it, or if they can, Della, you can figure it out on yourself. It might take you 20 years, but you don't have to pay $200. Yeah, you don't have to pay. Oh, wait. No, wait. It's 380. What is it? $382 to join FX Bootcamp. Yeah, you don't have, you can wait 20 years. Yeah, it's true, Peter. Who needs that, right? Yeah, I have a black Porsche, not a yellow Lambo. All right, so anyways, these things are Oscar Mike, which is really nice. Let's take a look at a slightly different market because we know all those yens are up. That's fine. Dollar is the noisier, muddier trade, and I wanted to show you Aussie. Yeah, this is it. So the other one I set up here, and by the way, this was our conversation about Fibonacci, Elliott wave, and pivot point strategies and the similarity between them all so that you can use the one that you find most effective. Now there's a well-rounded conversation, huh? Well, that's what we were doing last night. So anyways, I put an order here as an example of how to very aggressively, cautiously enter in an Aussie yen trade, Aussie dollar trade. And look at, once again, I missed it by a pip. Look at that. I missed it by a pip. So at least I picked the right prices to be buying. I guess I'm one pip too cautious. Peter doesn't want a yellow Lamborghini. Well, what color Lamborghini do you want? I'm thinking camouflage with orange striping. A lot of pink. People like pink, huh? Oops. Not a lot of Lambos in North Carolina. The GT2, yeah. Peter doesn't want a Lambo. You can't be a currency trader without a Lambo. Anyways, guys, so back to this. Oh, man, look at it. It's like, so what we're discussing, this is the bigger plan, and then this is the day trade, right? And oh, my God. So perfect, so horrible at the same time, yeah. Yeah, of course it is, Peter. Of course it is. Well, like I said, if you have one, it should be free. Only poor people would waste money on a car. If you get it for free, then it doesn't matter. All right, so let's take a look. You know, here's the tragic one. Look at this. Aussie dollar's going up and euro dollar's going down. That's weird. So anyways, for the last 2 weeks, I'm like, no, don't even want to look at it. Don't even want to look at it. And I am so happy. I'm so happy. I don't want to look at it. I'm not interested. I don't care. I don't think it's newsworthy or anything. There was a time where this looked good and I debated about it and I'm like, yeah, you know what? No, I don't even want to look at it. I don't want to consider it. It's not on my radar. I said I'd buy anything else. I'll buy everything else first before I even think about buying that one. And wow, what a great call. We also know that this is where bears would sell. Okay. We knew that last week, that that's the price a bear would sell. And that's why we got this here. So I'm glad I walked away from that one. Lovely. Because I do want to sell dollar. But look at that. That's NAS T. Right? It's my rapper name. Lil Wayne's already been taken, so I have to go with Nas T. All right. Here we go. Bada bing, bada boom. And I want to see this roll over if I'm going to be selling it tomorrow. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, we got to watch that closely. Is it going to hold? Yeah, that'll be interesting if we can get that sucker to roll over. Okay. If it doesn't, it's technically important because it creates a bottom. What? Darko says, is it news? It could be news, but we don't have what retail sales is Thursday and CPI is tomorrow, right? But think of it like, what did the London boys do? They sold it. So they sold it high. What did the New York boys do? They bought it. Why? Because it was low. I mean, that's the basics. But is it news related? It could be. But what I'm looking at now is to have it roll over, okay? You can see because we went nowhere on Monday and went a little higher than expected on Tuesday, which is today, but I have to remind you, especially to the newer folks, it's Tuesday today. You should already be done all your Tuesday trades. It's already over. I don't know what you're doing. So we're already on Wednesday's trades. So Tuesday's trades were way up here. So literally at 8 o'clock last night, I met with the day trading group, not to talk about Monday, but to talk about Tuesday. All those trades were set up and taken already. So you're either making money or you got knocked out for break even or you took a small loss. But Tuesday's done. What we're looking at now is, Wednesday. But now analyzing Wednesday, you can see Monday didn't go as far down as we thought it would. Then Monday afternoon, Monday evening, it went a little too high than we wanted. And because of that, it didn't go as far down again. So really, this is buttoning up. This is tightening up pretty quick. And that's what technical analysis is telling us. James says, hey, Oz and CAD are tracking commodities. Yeah, they're commodity currencies. It's the whole reason you buy them or sell them. So that's interesting. That all right, everything's fine. Yens are fine. Dollars are fine. That's going to be hurting these exotics, yeah, for sure. But that just might be setting up the next interesting trade. A little too early for peso, but there's some hope here. Like if you drag this across and then look further out, it might be consolidating because we want these to be falling like it did here. And all of a sudden now they're rising, but now they're not rising. So there's some hope. Now, we haven't made it through this area yet. So there's some hope, for example, that over the next day or two, we get a lower low and then up, and now we use this as a lower high. Okay? So I can't sell up here. I have to wait for a lower low, and then I'll sell a lower high. So it needs to look like this kind of thing. Okay? So, not quite yet, not yet. This is a little better. This has the lower low breach. So if you're doing Rand, if you want to lend the good people of South Africa money so that they can keep the power on, because when you live in South Africa, your power just goes out. In particular, if you voted for the wrong dude, boom. Okay. So that's better than peso. Okay. Doesn't mean it's going to work. It's just a better technical setup. Okay. And for those who take it, you're basically connecting these out into the future. Okay. One way you can play with that, let's take this old trade plan. Okay. Wow. I can't quite fit it. So let's make this a little smaller. Okay. Take this old trade plan. I'll show you a trick. You ready? So there's your slope. It's not a slope of a mean, but you can count that as a deviation. Okay? So in fact, we can use a different tool for that. So now you can take an equidistant to try to create deviations. So you go to trend, is this right? No, channels. Go to channels, you do equidistant. So the first step is you connect this high to that high. Okay. Oops. Connect this high to that high. Try to find a connection here, whether you pick that or that. And then inside of that, you can kind of guess halfway if you want. And, oops, that's not parallel though, is it? And you kind of remind yourself, so you got these in the middle, and you're creating your own, but you're going farther out into the distance. And what you're trying to predict is the overbought, oversold, overbought, oversold, overbought, oversold. And you'll notice that pivot points will fit themselves right in there. Morena's like, yep, they're cutting power again this week, huh? Sucks, huh? I think it was Johannesburg that has this giant nuclear power plant right in the center of town, which I always thought you don't put nuclear power plants in the center of town. But anyways, and it does, and for what I recall, is it doesn't work. It's just that everyone wants the beautiful nuclear power plant in the middle of the city so that everyone has a view. But it's particularly nice that it doesn't do anything. Then you're like, how come everyone that lives near it grows tomatoes in their garden that are 5 kilos? 5 kilo tomatoes. You're like, those are some giant tomatoes. So we have load shedding. Okay. Yeah. That's what they call it. All right. Can you imagine if that happened to an American? They're like, how am I going to drive my Tesla? First world problems, right? But my Tesla. Oh my God. All right. Take a look at commodities. Oh, Cape Town was smart enough to put it on the outside, outskirts of town. I thought it was Johannesburg. Like, you're just driving through town. There's just giant Russian-made nuclear power plant. I'm like, really? Who buys a Russian nuclear power plant? You're like, doesn't Chernobyl freak you out? And apparently not if you put it in the middle of the town. But anyways, I'm not here to pick on Johannesburg. It's a beautiful city. All right, so we're just kind of slowly climbing here. Slowly climbing. We're still above the recent high. We're still above the 4-hour 21. So even if you're afraid it's coming down, technically it's not. So don't be afraid. Okay? Doesn't mean it won't come down, but I'm like, there's no technically technically it has not come down. Lesso says it's beautiful at night. Why, it glows? Oh, you mean the city? Yeah. The city's nice, but you're like, what's that big glowing object in the middle of Johannesburg? Oh, that's the Russian nuclear power plant that doesn't work right. Oh, no, that's cool. Well, everyone's got to have a landmark, right? But I had a good time in Johannesburg. So you guys showed me a good time. Yeah, the city. All right, so anyway, so that's still climbing. And money is still not going into gold. Instead, it's going to Bitcoin. Yep. I love the smell of plutonium in the morning. Well, you could be in Asheville, North Carolina, right? It smells like coffee, stale ale, and weed. You're like, that's not fair. Yeah. All right. You got it. Yeah, totally. And maybe pumpkin soup. All right, so I guess I'm done picking on everybody in the whole entire world. That means Grandpa Wayne or Uncle Wayne is grumpy and he's not getting enough sleep, but he's happy, so that's fine. So I'm going to go back to my yens and think about buying some pullbacks. Look at that. Just barely missed my day trade. Barely missed my day trade. Now my beast I got, so I'm in at basically 54.10. And we went as high as 54.80. Now we're at 54.60. So I'm up 50 to 75 pips. Too bad for a sad trade. So sad it didn't work out the way I wanted it. Okay, and this one I moved, right? Yeah, so look at that. 450 pips is now where my target is because I moved it. 333 pips isn't enough, so I'm now at 450 pip target. Cool. Well, that's a pretty good sign when your YouTube guru moves the stop to 450 pips. That ain't bad. Cool. So, is anyone going to join FX Bootcamp? You want the coupon code? Save some money? So you see this giant button, it says click here to begin, you click that. Then you fill in your name, go to step 2. $500! Oh my God, I don't have $500. But if you type in COVID-19, it's $382. Okay, there you go, COVID-19, just type it in. Done. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. Thank you for being a client of Trader's Way. Thank you for being a subscriber to the Forex.Today YouTube community. And I will see you later. If you're in my day trading group, we will be meeting at 3 p.m. New York time, which is night time for Europeans. And then I'll see you again at 8 p.m. New York time, which is night time for Americans and Canadians. So thank you for being in my life. You're good people.